I walk it like I talk it. Affirmation living mind. Words spark power. Living affirmation mind. Every step daily. Left, right. The world blessed living. Let the words speak life. I can do it, you can do it. She can do it, he can do it. I can do it, you can do it. She can do it, he can do it. Living affirmation mind. Positivity breathe. Affirmation living mind. Now follow my lead. Bow. Go, 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 go.
Everyone I know wants to be successful in life. We strive to be the best at what we do, and those of us that want to be the very best often seek the help of a life coach. In this episode of Living Affirmations, we will talk to one of the best in this industry. She doesn't just talk about inspiring others to greatness. She has been living it since she was a little girl. Ladies and gentlemen, please meet senior HR professional, trainer, author, speaker, and founder of Nova Life Coach Academy, Shanika Walls. Miss Shanika Walls. Hello, Miss Walls, or may I call you Shanika?
Hello. You may. Hello, and so glad to be here.
Or better yet, Coach Walls. Coach
Coach
Shanika. How
Walls.
about that?
That's it. Yes.
Okay, definitely. So Miss
Yes.
Shanika, you're doing so so many amazing things in your life, making a difference in a lot of the lives of those of my listeners, and definitely of anyone that has had the pleasure of meeting you. So we want to start back, way back when we had a little Coach Shanika. Tell me about when you were a little girl.
Mm. Well, I was probably just as inquisitive and excited and rambunctious and again inquisitive as I am right now. And I think that's probably what paved the way and charted the course for who I am right now. So there were things and traits about me as a little kid, always asking questions, always wanting to know more, always thinking that I knew more, kind of ahead of my time. So I think that's been my path since the little coach was inside of me.
So what would your parents say about you as a little girl? How would they describe you?
Oh man. They would say that she's definitely unique, that she's probably ahead of her time,
Mhm.
that she doesn't have the average um, mental span as a child, normally her age. She seems to be wise beyond her years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now,
And since I'm from the South, I'll just say they'll probably say she's been here before.
so tell me what part of the South are you from?
I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee. And so I'm kind of in the Memphis metropolitan area. So I've got Southern roots. My parents were born and raised in the little towns in Mississippi and moved to the big city, which was the big city then, which was Memphis, Tennessee. And then that's where I was born and raised. And I just made my home. It's just I had an affinity to Memphis. I could have probably gone anywhere in the nation or possibly the world as I progressed through life and through school, but somehow I just wanted to stay in my hometown. And I've continued to make it my home. So between the Memphis, Mississippi Trail, that's where I've established my roots for me and my family.
Okay, so tell me, as a little girl in elementary school, did you? Now I can only speak for myself because I used to get those marks in school where I would have graded report cards, except for that line that says talks too much. Did you ever get any of those?
Oddly enough, I didn't get talked too much, but when I talked, people listened.
Oh, okay.
even as a child. So I didn't get the mark of she talks too much, but somehow when I talk, people listen. And that has just stuck with me all my life.
That's a wonderful thing to have. I had people listening as well, but the people that were listening to me were the teachers. And they had a tendency to put those marks on my report card.
Yes,
So
yes,
you pretty much knew that you had an influence upon people. When did you
I
really
did.
just know that?
Mhm.
Did you know it as a little girl where you were pretty much the person that was the leader, or did you find it out a little later?
Um, I I started to see it early on in school. I can remember a time I was in elementary school and we had to give an oral presentation. I think it was about a country. And so I remember sitting in a circle with my classmates. And so we all stood up and they were, just kids, 6, 7, 8 years old. And we're standing up and we're trying to tell the rest of the class about our country. And I can remember when I stood up to talk about my country, I had index cards. I had written out an outline with bullet points of what I wanted to talk about. Now, the teacher didn't ask us to do this. And honestly, even thinking now, like, how did I even know to do that? And I can remember standing up, poised and speaking, you know, just with the order and with the confidence about this country, just elementary kid. And I can remember my teacher saying after I spoke to the rest of the class, now this is how you give a presentation. I didn't even know that that was how you gave a presentation. I just figured I just want to make sure, I don't forget to talk about certain things, that I'm making all my points, that I'm doing everything I need to do to not lose points so that I can get a perfect score. And that's what I wanted to do. I had no idea that what I was doing was being done in an effective way. I didn't realize that in the most effective way. So I remember having that experience as a child, that told me that was one of the signs for me that said, okay, maybe I am a little unique, like not awkwardly different where I'm kind of a castaway, but maybe there is something about how I think, how I process things, how I listen to people, how I extract information, whatever it is, it's something just a little bit different. And that's a good thing. So that was one of those moments, that where I knew that there was something special, um, about me, something special.
Oh yeah. Now you knew at that moment, but did it continue on to high school? Was there?
Actually, it did. It's funny because that was elementary, so by the time I progressed to what was then called junior high,
Yes.
um, I was uh, I was voted most intelligent in my junior high school. Oddly enough, as crazy as this sound, I was a little taken aback by it because I wanted most likely to succeed.
Mm.
But somehow everybody else thought, that I was most intelligent. And it took me years to realize, like, why did that affect me that way? Why, take it as a compliment, or at least you see how other people see you or what they think about you, take it for what it's worth. And I thought, well, with most likely to succeed, you know whether I'm good or bad, whether I'm smart or less than smart, I want to be successful. Like, I want it to be, I want to end up in a good place. I want to succeed. At that time, I didn't realize what it takes in life to succeed, other than knowing that successful people had influence and they made good money and people liked them and their names were in light, because again, 11, 12, 13 years old, that's what success represented to me. And I didn't know a whole lot of people who were quote unquote unintelligent that were popular, or how society would describe successful. They were smart and that's good, and they had good minds and intellectual and things like that, but did that translate or equate to success? Like, I had teachers who I thought were brilliant, but they were like, a hidden gem. Like the world didn't know who they were, but I was fascinated by them. They were smart. They poured into us as kids. They were confident. They were inspiring. They were all these things. I thought they were intelligent, but in my mind, as a kid, I thought, "But is that really successful?" So it took me a really long time to understand that there is a difference between being intelligent, smart, intellectual, knowing things, being conscious, and being successful. And so, in striving for one thing and trying to get it so that people in corporations saw me as successful, people amongst my inner circle saw me as successful. Striving and shooting for those things was top notch for me. That's what I wanted. That's how I wanted to be remembered. And it took me to become of age and to really use the intellect and the intelligence to realize it's not so much about being successful, it's about being significant. And that's what my intelligence taught me. It's not just about being successful, it's about being significant. And once I really realized that, it changed the whole trajectory of my career, my life's purpose, things that I wanted to do, things that I wanted to go after. And that's what success started to look like.
Love that. So as you're in high school and you're making your choices as to the direction that you wanted to go after school, what did it look like? What were you thinking?
Yeah. So I was still, oddly enough, leaning on the intellect. I was leaning on things where a brilliant mind would hopefully get you far. It may not, get you noticed. It may not make you, make you successful in the world's, definition, but it'll get you somewhere. You'll be comfortable. So I started looking at careers like, maybe I should be an attorney, or maybe I should, go into the criminal justice system, or maybe I should go into government. Just things where I thought smart people ended up, or what we thought smart people would do. Because that's how people associated with me. Oh, she's young, but she's wise. She has a good mind. She's a good thinker. She's a critical thinker. And I thought, okay, that's where I really should be. But again, still trying to figure out this whole success and significant path and where I really want to go. So I just started kind of thinking of what do really smart people do? There was I considered accounting, uh, being a lawyer, all these things where I thought these sharp-minded people would do. And it turns out I didn't enjoy any of those things.
Mhm.
It just wasn't me. I didn't, I tried it, I found out about it, I researched it, I toyed with it, I job shouted it, I did all those things, but it never really resonated with me because I was still thinking this is what I should be doing because this is what I've been told I am, or this is the label I've been carrying all this time. And it just didn't sit with me the same way.
Isn't it amazing how sometimes what people see us as and what they say we are, we sometimes
Hmm.
find ourselves trying to fit in that box that they tell us that we should fit in. And sometimes that actually
Yeah.
colors us in a direction that they want us to be. But we find ourselves having difficulty being in that specific box. So when you were in college, what were you like in college? You've been this influence. Were you the same type of influencer when you were in college as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think I was still very much the voice of reason. I was still very much the one who tried to see the good, the better, or the best in situations. I was still the one that people would come to for advice, for comfort, for counsel. It was still that impression of she knows or she can help us figure it out. So it was still that whole intellectual, intelligent track that was drawing people to me. I just didn't at that age and stage really know what to do with it. I just knew that that was just kind of the aura that I projected and other people saw it. But at that time, I didn't really fully understand what it was or what I should do with it.
Now, As you enter exit college, you start looking for careers. Did you know at that point the direction that your career was going to take you, or were you still in the experimental stage where we're just going to see if this is the way to success, if this is going to lead me to the success that I want? What did you do at
Oh,
that?
yes, it was very much experimental. By that time, I had transitioned from the whole attorney criminal justice space to the accounting business space, two totally different,
Okay.
you think one area and then a total transition. So I end up in kind of the business management space because I thought, okay, let's tinker with accounting or marketing or just see what's offered in this space. And I ended up doing some college, what is it, job study type program in the business office. And one of the professors noticed my work ethic, and just my personality. He said, "You know what? There's a company that has an internship opportunity in their human resources department." I didn't even know what human resources was. He
Hmm.
said that and I think it was still called personnel back then. So there's a company that has an internship in their personnel department. And I thought, great, it's a job. Let's go for it.
Hmm.
So I do that, and I end up in an HR first slash personnel department, and I'm helping with recruiting and interviewing, and helping them find people for work. And I thought, this is really interesting. And so, just the interaction with people, connecting with people, much like I had done even in elementary and junior high, just connecting with people and how people saw me and how people were drawn to me and would come to me and would listen to me. And I thought, if I tell them this is a good opportunity, they believe me. Like if I tell them this is a good company to work for, they believe me. And it wasn't that I was a salesperson at all. It was just something about me or the delivery or whatever that would just draw them to me. So I did really well in that internship, and that's how I started. That was kind of the launching pad for a 30 plus career in the HR field. Um, but as I was taking the business courses, and of course, like I said, I just didn't see that that was fully for me in terms of those specific areas of specialty in the business space. But everyone was telling me, business is the way to go. Get a business degree. If you're going to go out into the working world, you need to know business. But it didn't resonate with me in the same way that most people did in the space of business. So as I was continuing with the internship and working in human resources and with people and connecting people and telling them about great opportunities and talking about their future and things that they could do and things that they could become, I started feeling more of the significance of my work. I
Hmm.
started seeing the significance in work. I didn't realize that's what it was at the time, but that's exactly what it was in time. That's what it became in time for me. It was a time where I started to realize that I was tapping into the significance of what I was doing and not just what would make me successful. So, in doing that, I started taking a lot of sociology courses and learning about people and cultures and things like that. And I was blown away. And I thought, this is me. This is where I need to be. Now, again, how many successful sociologists do you know? Probably not that many. But again, I was still trying to figure out this thing of significance versus success. Didn't know that that's what it was at the time until it was time. Didn't know what it was at the time until it was my time. So started taking these classes. I was fascinated about the content. I was doing really well. I couldn't have told you what I wanted to do with it, what type of job I would want to have, what careers would even want me with a background in this. But I sensed the significance in that information and in that major and in what I was gaining. So I just leaned into that. I had no idea where I would end up. I knew I liked the sociology content and learning about people and cultures and just how we are as human beings. You know, black, white, male, female. Infant to elder. I just was fascinated by people and culture and just learning about those things. And the more I got into it, the more I realized there is a level of significance in this because That's one thing that's not going away. We are here and we have to interact and we've got to figure this thing out. So that's what helped me to try to carve out my path in college. It's nowhere near where I started because I went to school. If you had seen my college application, I'm sure it said Shanika reporting the duty to be an attorney and show me which building to go to and what classes to take. But that was not my ultimate end. So it was truly a lot of self discovery.
It sounds like what was pulling you was that desire to help people. The way it's sounding, the fact that you were so fascinated by people, and with you having that influence, it sounds like it's leading toward what you're doing now, which we'll build to that. But it just sounds like you can just see the seeds are right there. They're planted, but they haven't sprouted just yet. So as you were in HR and you're learning all these things, why wasn't HR just the thing for you? Why was it maybe a field that there was something greater than just HR for you?
Yeah. Well, oddly enough, I think HR was the launching pad that I needed. I think HR was the battleground that I needed. I
Mm.
think HR was um, the education and the institution and the academy that I needed because HR in itself is a very multifaceted field. You can be in everything from benefits and compensation, where you're, analyzing and number crunching, and you can be in training and development and recruiting and employee relations and helping people be better, do better, or find better. And I'm sure, you don't have to be a rocket science to figure out which lane I actually chose, right? The be better, the do
That's right.
better, the find better. Yeah. So, and interestingly, when I took an early job in HR, I was in the recruiting and training and development space, and I had a VP come to me. And he called me in his office one day and he said, "Well, we have this opportunity available. It's as a compensation analyst. And I think that you would be really good in this role." Now, mind you, my significance is in the area of helping people find better, be better, do better. Not necessarily in the analytical space, number crunching, paper pushing, figuring out, how do we go from this percentage to that percentage? And not that it's not important, but it wasn't my draw. So, but I had this VP who's come to me, and I'm still probably what we would consider entry level, telling me that this is the job I need to take. And his exact words, and I'll never forget it, were, "If you ever want to sit in my seat, this is the type of job you need to take." Well, when you're a VP talking to an entry level, that sounds significant.
Very much so.
So, but yeah, but as crazy and bold as I was in the moment, I told him no. Yeah, I told him no. Because there was something in me that said, "Shanika, that you wouldn't enjoy that. That's not you." And so I told him no. Um, a few weeks later, he came back to me and he said, "I want to propose this to you again. The job is still available. Maybe there's some questions now that we didn't quite answer. Really think you'd be a good fit for the role." So we talked it through again. But this time, I honestly felt like, okay, maybe there's something he knows that I don't. Maybe there's something he knows that I don't. And there was a lot that he knew that I didn't, but he didn't know me. So in that moment, instead of choosing me, I chose what I thought he knew, and I took the job. And then I took that job, and it was the most miserable 90 days of my life. I
Oh,
did
wow.
not enjoy any part of it. It just did it just because I was so used to connecting to people and just that whole lane, and it was so not that. And while I understand the value in knowing that to being a real well-rounded HR professional, it just didn't resonate with me and for me in that way. And I had to get to a point where I thought, okay, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. You like what you like. You do well what you do well, and that's okay. And I ended up leaving that position and going back to a similar position with the company. So I was able to retain employment and things like that. But it taught me a valuable lesson. Nobody knows me better than me.
That's right.
And that's why I enjoy coaching so much, because coaching is so different from any of the other helping professions. I don't give advice. I don't necessarily have to give advice. I don't have to tell people what to do, because nobody knows my client better than my client. So if they want to start a business or find another job or start a relationship or end a relationship, it's not for me to tell them, because nobody knows them better than they do. And I had to figure that out for myself. I was miserable when I was listening to a voice outside of me. I made a bad decision and I paid for it. I paid the price. With coaching, we don't have that obligation. We work with the clients, we figure out what they want to do, where they want to go, and we simply support them on the journey. But it's their journey, and we don't have to tell them left or right, or up or down, or right or wrong. It's their journey. So that was my own personal experience with it. And even then, as you said earlier about planting seeds, I didn't realize that had planted a seed in me to understand that as smart as people thought that I was, and as much as they came to me for advice, and as intelligent as they thought that I was, ultimately their path is their path. It doesn't matter what I know, it doesn't matter what I would do in that situation. It's all about you. And that's why I enjoy coaching so much, because it's so client centered. It's all about them. And that's why I love it, because it takes the pressure off me.
Hmm.
I don't have to depend on my wits or my smarts or what people think, I know. And trust me, I'm not here to toot my whole, I feel like I've been talking about intelligence this whole call, and I'm not tooting my own horn at all. I'm not trying to make like I'm this brainiac that knows so much, because it's clearly not the case. But it's all been about others' impressions, right? Like being voted this and people thinking this. And I just thought I was just trying to not, make a bad grade on an oral presentation. I didn't realize that I was, exhibiting all this wit and smarts and stuff at 8 years old. So it's all about other people's perception. So, but I am grateful and I'm thankful that whatever counsel or whatever wisdom or intelligence that I have, I can use it in a way that amplifies other people and motivates other people and inspires other people to be the best versions of themselves on their terms. I don't have to carry that pressure of being smarter or feeling like I'm smarter than somebody else. So they must do what I do because I know more than you know, because that VP showed me. You don't know it all. You don't know it all.
I can say this about you. You might not have known the seeds, but the person who put the seeds there, and I have to say it, when we have a calling upon us, when we have an anointing, when we have that power that God has put around us, others can see it. A lot of times they can. They see it in the direction that they might want it to go. We can't see it, and a lot of times he protects us from being able to see it, because a lot of times we'll ruin it before it's ready to actually take root and blossom. But they saw something, they saw greatness in you. And I believe that's what he was seeing. And he thought that maybe if I put her in this direction, possibly that I can see her blossom and go right past me. But that wasn't what you were there for. And you knew it, because like you said, nobody knows you better than you know you. And that's outstanding for me. Now, I want to know about Coach Walls. How do we go from HR wonderful to Coach Wall's superhero?
There we are with the labels. Okay, now I got to live up to this one. Uh, so I had this amazing career in HR, and oddly enough, as I said, my passion in HR was about the people side of HR, the people side of personnel. That was my comfort zone. And even in doing that, I did a lot with training and development and succession planning, career pathing, recruiting, job readiness, just getting people prepared for more or for better. And there was a lot, again, at the time, I didn't see it. But there was a lot even in that that involved coaching, the motivation, the inspiration, the dedication, the activation of doing the work. All of those things were part of what I was doing anyway. I just, because people were coming to me for answers, they're coming to me for interpretation, they're coming to me for advice or counsel, or how should we handle this, or this kind of thing, where I really did have to come up with answers. Coaching frees me from a lot of that because it's a collaborative effort and client centered. So I was doing the work, but I was doing it in a way that was causing me to have to be the brain. And I realized that I can still use the brain, but lean into other people's intelligence and expertise and what they know, because we're talking about them. And if I can empower them to do that for themselves, then there's less reliance on me and we still get to the end goal. And that's what I had to show people in coaching. That's what I had to show managers when they were contemplating terminating an employee, or trying to determine whether they needed to, increase their staff, or uh, considering implementing another way of working. All these things that we still had to think through and process and figure out what's the end goal and the best way to get there, and I not have to have the answer, or I'm not on the hook whether it works out or not, was freeing. It was liberating for me. And I didn't realize that that's a big component to coaching. And it doesn't mean that I'm just, kind of willy nilly, well, if you fall flat on your face, oh, well, it was all your decision. No, because I have a stake in it too. I want to see you succeed. I want to see you meet that goal, or meet that spouse, or start that business. I'm just as invested in your success as you are. But it's just that it's your success. And we're looking each step for the significance in reaching that success to make it as impactful as they need it to be. There's nothing wrong with being successful. I've come to learn that now. There's nothing wrong with being successful. And even in my, 8, 9 year old mind, I wanted to be successful. I didn't want to be the most intelligent. I just wanted to be successful. And now I realize you can still be successful and live a life of significance while you're striving and attaining success. And it's all about what success looks like to you.
Right. Like that. So how did you get there though? How did you start in becoming a coach? Was it
Mhm.
something that you did while you were doing HR? I know you were doing the actual work itself, but
Mhm.
did you become a certified coach during that time, or what happened that led you to become certified?
I did. I actually became certified while I was still in HR, because I wanted to learn how I could incorporate different ways of, again, inspiration, motivation, with my employee base and with my manager staff, so that they were able to coach their employees for success. It's so interesting how when people really get this and they learn the difference in coaching and directing, the difference in coaching and mandating, the difference in coaching. You are empowering people and including people in the process. It doesn't mean that you're taking your hands off and you're letting people run wild and run free. Because even as a coach with clients, I'm still very much involved in the steps and the process. We talk about the roadblocks and things that they may have fallen out. They had a setback. We talk about that too. So I'm still very much vested in the process, excuse me, but it's in a way that's so empowering and so engaging. And it's like, if I, if if I say I want to start a business and someone's telling me the type of business I should start and what they think I'm good at and how they think I should do it, I don't know if I'll be just as committed because I haven't been able to put my input in it. Like, well, I really don't want to be a lawyer. Well, you really should be. Well, I really don't see me doing that anymore. Yeah, I thought about it, but I give you the freedom to change your mind as a coach because you're entitled to that. We can shift if we need to, but we still need to keep our eyes on the prize in what success looks like. It's all about um, getting the results, achieving success on your terms. So that's the beauty of coaching. So I started doing that while I was still in HR because I wanted to marry it with how I was advising my managers and employees and things like that. And then I realized that there is a really big need for this because people are so familiar with therapists. They're so familiar with counselors. I mean, we had counselors in elementary school. I knew what a counselor was in elementary. I had no idea what a coach, what a professional life coach was. I thought a coach was the guy that was showing them how to make three free throws or whatever it's called. You know,
Blowing the
that was
whistle,
coach to
huh?
me. Right. You know, blowing the whistles with the when they were working with the referees and the players and there's the court and all that stuff. That was coach to me. I didn't realize that there was a coach for this thing called life. I knew it was a coach for sports. I knew, that kind of thing, but I never knew it was a coach for this thing called life. And it's the same premise. A coach wants you to win. When a coach is coaching their players, they're coaching them to win. I'm doing the same thing, but I want you to win in life. I want you to be successful in life and live a life of significance because that's what really matters.
And that's so true. And I love the way you put it. A
Mhm.
coach wants you to win. Coaches do not want you to lose. And I also love the fact that you said you are just as invested in them being successful as they are. And that's the same thing with the coach as well. I love that. I love it. So you have to tell me about Nova Life Coach Academy. So how did we go from HR to life coach to Nova Life Coach Academy?
Yeah, so for me, it was a natural progression from the work that I did in HR, working with people, again, helping them go from good to better, better to best, even in their jobs and in their careers, et cetera. So it's just natural there, helping to train them, develop them, make them the best versions of themselves. That's what coaches do. So, so I didn't do anything stellar. I just took it to another level. I just really took what I enjoyed and what I was passionate about to another level. But I'm doing it in a way now as a coach that's a lot more targeted because I'm working on specific things that people want to work on. And it's not just necessarily in this lane or in this area of specialty. It can be anything involving life. If you have issues in finances, a life coach can help. If you have issues in a relationship, a life coach. It's called life coaching for a reason. Like if it's parenting. There's parenting coaching. There's all kinds of facets in coaching. So it was just kind of a natural progression for me in the work that I had done in HR. Um, and I think that once I realized that, I love one-on-one coaching. There's all kinds of coaching. There's group coaching. There's team coaching. There's all these other types of coaching. I really enjoy one-on-one coaching. However, one-on-one coaching can really it can be time consuming because you're focused on one person at a time. So the reason I was inspired to start Nova Life Coach Academy was because my philosophy was if I could train more people to do what I do, we can reach more people to have the success that they seek. So if I could train more people to do what I do, they can help more people find the success that they seek. So I started Nova Life Coach Academy, and what we do is we actually offer life coach certification training. It is ICF accredited, and I'm so proud of that because it shows that we've gone through this rigorous process of vetting this academy to ensure that it meets the industry standards and the level of excellence required to produce quality, competent life professional coaches. So, super proud that it is an ICF accredited level one training academy. We offer two levels of training. We have a level one, which is a foundational. So if someone's just interested in becoming a life coach, maybe they were like me when I started and wanted to incorporate it in some other areas of their profession, or kind of get their feet wet in what it's like to do this. Maybe they've had people tell them, like, you'd be a great life coach, or you'd be a great counselor or therapist, and they're just looking for another helping profession to get out there and get this started. And they can start the foundational program and get it's a 30-hour program to become a certified professional coach. And then we have an advanced level for those who are seeking a more aggressive career in coaching. Maybe they want to go further into private practice, they want to get credentialed in the profession, things like that. Then we do have an advanced level. And that's going to give them the number of hours that they would need to pursue ICF membership and the entry level credentialing, which is the associate certified coach credential. So things like that. So we have those two programs. We also have mentor coaching. So if someone has had some coaching, maybe training in the past, or some coaching experience, and they want some mentor coaching, we offer that as well.
You are doing exactly what you should be called to do. I can just feel it, and I'm feeling that affirmation part that we talk about when we talk about living affirmations. So if you're talking to a person, and a person that's coming on that wants to be one of your clients, what are some of the things that you say to them that would make them be a successful client when it comes to you?
Yeah. Um, what's most important for me is their level of commitment and dedication to transformation and change. If I can sense that they have a significant level of dedication and commitment to transformation and change, they make an excellent client. If they truly want to attain a level of success or reach a particular goal, and they're committed to it and they're dedicated to it, we can get there. We can figure this thing out and help them get there. And if they find that, maybe they're not as ready as they thought they were, or maybe it's a bigger ask or task than they thought, that's okay too. I mean, I like to think of coaching as kind of an entry helping profession. So say if someone's not too keen on going to, I don't want to go to therapy, I don't want that stigma and this kind of thing, try coaching. Coaching can give you an opportunity to just work with somebody to say, hey, here's what I have on my plate. Here's what I'm going through. Here's what I want. Or maybe here's what I'm struggling with. And we can figure it out. And it may be that we find that therapy may be a better fit for them, or counseling may be a better fit. It just really depends on the situation. But I say start somewhere. And if you want to start with coaching, that's a great place to start. So it doesn't take much to get us started. It doesn't have to be this huge undertaking that someone has going on in their life. It could be, my house is a mess. I cannot seem to find the time to get it organized. I just need somebody to help me stay on track, or get my head in the game, or figure this thing out. A coach can help you do that. I mean, it's really that simple. So it doesn't have to be this overcomplicated, serious, egregious situation that's going on with you. It could be something as simple as, again, just I want to organize my closet. I need help. I can't seem to figure it out. I can't seem to find the time. I've tried and I stop. I'll try again. I stop. I don't know. And then we start to talk through those barriers or blocks or anything that might be standing in the way. Okay, well, maybe, that person's allowing other things to take precedent. Maybe that Netflix series has to wait
Mhm.
until you get your closet fixed, right? So it could be just as simple as just getting them to see and think differently about some things. So
What
that's the beauty of coaching. So yeah, oh, go ahead.
what if they say, Coach Walls, I just can't. It's just life is so hard for me right now. It's just you have. I just want to know, how can you say something to me, because you've probably never been in that situation. What would you say to a client like that?
That I've never been in that situation. I think that um, I would tell them, I would explain to them that it doesn't. The problem is not that I need to share your problem, because I'm here not to coach your problem. I'm here to coach you. So it doesn't matter if I've never experienced your problem. I'm here to coach you. So if I had never been married, or I had never been divorced, or if I had never had children, I can still coach you because I'm not coaching your problems. I'm coaching you. And that's the difference. And so I would walk them through what that really means, in that I'm not coaching to solve your problem, because we're not problem solvers. Remember, I said at the beginning of the conversation, we're not here to give you the answers. You know you better than you. So you have your answers. We just got to carve through and figure out what your answers are.
Now, have you ever been at a point where you wanted to just, things weren't going your way, that you wanted to just give up? Since you've been coaching, have you ever felt that way? Or were you so driven by what was
Mm.
inside of you that regardless of how much you wanted to quit, you couldn't?
If I'm being honest, I don't know that I've had a situation where I felt like I wanted to quit,
Mhm.
because in my first sessions with my clients, you'd be amazed. In the minutes that I share with them, they tell me so much. They share so much. They tell me things that they haven't sometimes shared with anybody, and they don't even know me. And if they can be that transparent, that vulnerable, that open, to me, knowing that my role and my job is just to help them get past or over that, then how can I give up on that?
Right.
I would be doing them a disservice to give up on it, because it's not my battle to fight. So I don't lose. We both win. That's why I stick and stay. That's why I keep doing this.
If I have to say it again, living affirmation. That speaks for itself. You're doing exactly what I talk about when I tell a person to be a living affirmation. Don't just talk about it. Show them. You're living the life that you're supposed to be living, and you're making the difference in the lives of the people that need that. And to be honest with you, we all need that. We all need that inspiration, that moment to lift us up when we're down. So I love that. So I also know that you're an author.
I am.
So I
Yes.
want to know about the books that you have written. Tell me about these books,
Yes.
these books that were
Yes.
written, and how we can get these books.
Absolutely. So, and I normally have one right in front of me, but I had someone reading it the other day, or otherwise I put it up on the screen. So, but it's called 7 Second Life Lessons. And it's just daily, as you mentioned, daily affirmations from a professional life coach. And it literally just takes 7 seconds a day to read it. 7 seconds. We live in this, hustle and bustle world where people can't seem to find time to do anything. And but I want to emphasize how important self-care is. And if you can just find 7 seconds for self-care and just read that daily affirmation or that piece of advice or whatever it is, then you're doing yourself a good service. So again, it's called 7 Second Life Lessons, and I just give you a daily dose of inspiration for every day. It's over 400 lessons in there, so it's a year and beyond. But you got over 400 just daily affirmations and inspirations that you can read. It's really like having three books in one. So I give you the daily advice and affirmation, and then I kind of expand on it to tell you exactly what it means. And then there's a journaling component, so you can write your own thoughts on just what that statement meant, or what that sentence or what that statement meant to you. So it's really like getting three books in one. But I'm so excited about it. I've had amazing response and feedback about it. And again, it's just a little piece of self care, a little piece of motivation and inspiration from a life coach, probably about some things that you're going through. And it covers every area. There's things in there about love and relationships, finance, spirituality, working on the job with people you don't like. Like there's something in there for just about any and every situation you could possibly go through. So
Mm.
it's amazing little self-care manual and guide and journal all in one.
Now, where do we find your book?
Yes, it's available on Amazon. Type in the
Okay.
number 7 Second Life Lessons. It's also available on my website, which is Nova Life Coach lifecoachdaniqualwalls.com. You can also find out information about the Training Academy, our level 1 and level 2 programs, some additional information about life coaching. I've got some videos out there, testimonials, just people that can help you better understand what coaching is all about. So amazing resource. Again, that's Nova lifecoachacademy.com. You can also give me a call and call me directly. I'll give you my number. It's 901-667-8090. I'm welcome to talk to any and everybody who's interested in coaching and how it can help them and how they can become a life coach, so that we can just help this world be a little bit better. You can help the people in your household. You can help the people at your church. You can help the people in your schools just by knowing what to do and what to say, just to help push them along a little bit further. Because coaching is really just about advancing you forward.
Now, see, I thought I was special because I had the number. I thought that was special. So, but all of the things that you said, I'm actually going to make sure that at the end of our broadcast, we have all of that with your email address and your number as well, because I want to make sure everybody has the opportunity to get your book, to go visit your website if they're interested in life coaching, to make sure that they actually put forth the effort to reach out to you and lead. And so I know you're going to be someone that's going to lead them in exactly in the direction that they need to go, because just feeling all of your aura right now, and knowing the way that you speak and that influence that you were talking about you had when you were that little girl, it's definitely there, and it is definitely strong. So I can feel that. Now, one of the things that I do as the host of this show, in order for a person to come on, there has to be something that draws me to seeing an affirmation within them. And there was three that stuck out to me. And I want to read the three to you, and I want to get your opinion on them, and tell me if they fit the way that you are. Is that okay? Okay.
That's fine.
The first one is, I am a powerful, inspiring speaker. That's the first one. The second one is, I attract abundance and prosperity into my life effortlessly. Number two. And the third one is, I am open to receiving all the blessings that life offers.
I love them all. Do I have to pick one?
No, they all fit you.
Okay.
They all fit you. So I just want to know, do you
Yeah.
do you feel any of those as being something that sticks on your mind? Is that something that
Oh,
is just really
all of
there?
them.
Yeah.
I love speaking. I love telling my story. I love inspiring people and just drawing them into a space of just wanting to hang on in there a little while longer.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, I just love being that shoulder, that ear, whatever they need in that space. I love that. Um, Having abundance in my life. I just, like I defined earlier at the conversation about, success and significance, having abundance. Just like I thought, the picture of success was everybody knowing my name in lights, and having, money and cars and things like that. For me, that was success. Didn't matter where you were smart about it or you were, whatever. It just, if it was a fluke or not, it's just you were successful. Everybody knows, who you are and what you do. And then learning that abundance is so much more than that. Abundance really is about purpose and passion and significance and impact and influence and all these other things that wasn't the picture of success as I knew it, but it's what it became. So that was spot on. So thank you for that. And then just being open to receiving whatever is purposed and planned from on high from me.
Mhm.
Um, if it's not divinely inspired, um, I can do without. I just want what is truly purposed and planned for me in the path that I'm on. Not giving, not taking away from anyone or anything, just wanting what is divinely mine.
That you have said it all. You are a
Mhm.
significant living affirmation. That you are. Please know that you continue to do it. And I really know that anyone that gets the opportunity to see this podcast or to hear this podcast and just reaches out or sees anything that you're doing, they are truly blessed. They're truly going to be blessed. And I just thank you for doing this with me. And I look forward to the future that is going to go even higher, as you said, to that next level. It's coming, so you might as well get ready for it.
I'm ready.
I thank you for that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. All my best to you, and thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
For more information on Coach Shanika, go to NovaLifeCoachAcademy.com or call 901-667-8090. That's 901-667-8090. Her book, 7-Second Life Lessons, can be purchased on her website or Amazon.com.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Living Affirmations Podcast. You can find us on Spotify, iHeart, Apple Podcast, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Tune in next time for more inspiring stories and lives well lived. We believe that every life is a story worth telling.
Affirmation living, man. Follow my lead.